Well, hello, happy Thursday, and welcome to Elegant Sentiments today. I'm Cheryl, the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and this is our weekly card share number 112. So, thank you for watching, whether you're watching here with me live or replay. I appreciate and I'm thankful that you are here. I do have some Lisa Horton craft products to share today. I'm looking at my camera. Things look a little dark. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to see what the cards actually look like. Um, so I got this is Lisa Horton's collection that she did for Spellbinders called Summertime. I've got part of that collection for today's card and a couple other of her products. I've got two inks here. I've got Bexley Stone and Sambourne Lily. And from the Spellbinders collection, I have the Garden Planter. Isn't that cute? I love this. And there's ripped edged circles that are part of this. There are, I don't know how many dies there are in this, but the ripped edge circles. And this is a newer set of her dies. These are the mini compositions dies, and they're the ovals. And I'm going to be using this piece out of this set. And then part of the summertime collection for Spellbinders is the Love and Hugs sentiment set. So it's got a stamp and die here. So it's got the three dies for the hugs. You got the actual script, and then the two background dies, two shadow dies, and then the sub sentiments are all one piece. You stamp it once and you die cut it once. And so the sentiments on this are happy birthday, feel better soon, just because, just for you, missing you, so many. Birthday, love, and sending, great, big, gentle, huge. So that is that sentiment and stamp set that I'm going to use, or I actually used it for the project. Let me show you the rest of this collection from Spellbinders that I'm not using, but these are the other parts. There's a decorative lattice. It's a two cutting dies to give you a nice lattice background, and some beautiful stargazer flowers die cut there. Lots of pieces to this die. There's 16 dies here. So, and then there's another sentiment stamp and die cutting set. This one is so amazing sentiments. And again, it's got the single pass for the sub sentiments, two shadow dies and the script on that one. And this one is called Containers and Foliage, and it's got lots of different vases. It's got a flower wrapper, and then the leaves. On that one, there's 12 dies in this set. And then the last one in the collection, the summertime collection, is the open lane frame and landscapes. So there are 7 dies there, and you cut the frames. I used this one actually earlier this week on my blog. So and this one as well. So those are all of the components of the summertime collection that Lisa did for Spellbinders. And here is my my sample card that I made. This is the project that I'm going to make tonight using the products that I just showed you. So we'll go ahead and get started with this one. Really sweet card, lots of die cutting. I did do some homework for this one already. So I have a piece of, this is Stampin' Up! Cardstock. It's they're very vanilla, thick cardstock that I use for my card base. And then I just took some white cardstock and I did some die cutting. So these two pieces are from the, let me pull these all back out so you can see what I cut from where. So these pieces are from this die set. Give me these two pieces. And then this is, I've got the um, um, why can't I think of the name of that thing? It's not a bucket, it's a planter. I want keep wanting to call it a bucket. So this is the planter, and I did the planter itself, and then these pieces are give the little panels. And you know what? I didn't cut the pieces that go across. So I'm going to have to cut those. And then from the this die from the oval minis is this one. And then from the planter, I did all of the florals are here, and then all of the leaves are here. So I did all of these are here. And then I used the ridge circles. I used the two largest dies and then the fourth one in to cut these. So those are all of the die cuts that I've done ahead of time. And I am going to, while I'm thinking about it, go ahead and die cut the little bands that go across the planter, because I do want to include those. I think they're so cute. This is such a cute little die set. So I'm going to, my first thing I'm going to do, move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in my little mini cutter. And then I'll get a scrap of white cardstock and I'll die cut those two pieces that I need for this. So I'm going to cut these two bands. They're on one piece. So let me open this up, put my plate down, and my scrap piece. And run that through. And we'll add these two pieces to our little die cuts when we get there. Put this die away before I lose it in this little piece. Okay, so get this out of the way. And let me put this stamp, these dies back away. At least get them all back on the card. Okay. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is with my inks, I'm going to bring in my little sticky mat, and I'm going to ink up the flowers and the leaves. I'm not going to, not a lot, but I am going to do some inking on those. So bring those in. Let me get my little tools out here. And bring those in, adding some color to these. Just a teeny bit of inking. Hope your week is, and then I'll go ahead and bring these out too, because I need to go ahead and glue them together. Okay. And then I'll grab the other pieces in just a little bit and get those together. So what I want to do for the florals that I die cut here, I'm just going to add a little bit of color to the flower centers. I'm going to use the Sambourne lily on the flowers. And it's tone on tone. And I'll be adding a little bit of the Bexley sewn to that center as well. But just a little bit, just to give it so that it's not completely flat looking. And that one's Let me get a smaller brush for this one because it's pretty little. I don't want the whole thing to be one color. And then these little ones, the little guys, I'll leave those just as they are. And then I'll add the Bexley stone. And just a teeny bit of that to the flower centers. Just to darken it, just a teeny little bit. There we go. That's that little deeper color in the center. And then on the leaves, I'm going to add some shading around these leaves. And I'm using the Bexley stone because it's a nice little color for shading. I'm just shading some of the tips and sides of some of the leaves. Giving them a little bit more dimension with this little bit of ink blending I'm doing. We'll do the same on these little leaves. Really quick. It doesn't take a lot of time. And get that one. And that is all of the inking that we need to do. Easy peasy. Okay, so there we go with our inking. That's all we need to do there. And we'll move our inks out of the way. And I'm going to go ahead and take these off of the mat. So I can move this out. These ink colors, they're part of the Lisa Horton new line of inks inspired by William Morris matte blending inks, and all of the colors are yummy. I just love them. I've been using them. I'm going to keep using them until I think I just can't anymore. So I'm going to put, I didn't use double-sided tape on this when I die cut it, but you could do that and then you wouldn't have to worry about gluing it down. But we're just going to add some glue to this die cut piece. Really simple. I love these layered sentiments, and this one is a little more, I think it's a little more delicate than some of the other ones I've used. Where's my little tweezers? Let me see. Get that picked up. And I'll just add this onto this little shadow. Try and get it kind of where I want it, and then use my fingers to put it in place. There we go. Okay, so that is our sentiment all done. And then the other thing that we need to do is put our little planter together. So I've got my die cut pieces for my planter, and I'm just going to adhere those onto this little planter piece. Really cute and easy. Let me move that up. Okay. And then I'll just put glue the, I don't know, let me see if I zoom in. You might be able to see the indentation on the die itself. I'm not really sure. Let's see. But there are, let's see if I can get it at the right angle maybe. Oh, yeah, there you can see the little markings on the die cut. And so I'm just going to glue and put glue in between those markings and then add the pieces to this planter. And it makes it look like wood. And you can, of course, do this in different colors to make it look really woody. Or you can ink it. But for mine, we're just using a white planter. So all I have to do is glue the pieces into place. Such a fun little one. And I like doing little dies when they're not too terribly fiddly. This one is not super fiddly, so I don't mind doing this. And it's so cute when you're done. Cute little planter. And then there's smooth planks too, if you don't want the wood grainy kind of look. There's some smooth planks in the die set as well. Cute little die set. And again, these are part of the Summertime collection by Lisa Horton for Spellbinders. Okay, get that on there. And then we have the last one that we need to add for this one. So cute. I love it. And you can't do it wrong. So even for someone like me who's puzzle challenged, you can't get this one wrong at all. So there's that part. And then we've got these two little pieces that go across. And make sure I got it going the right way around. I'm just kind of trying to put them where I think they go. And make sure I got the right size in the right spot. It looks like I do. Okay. So then I'll just go ahead and on this one, I'm going to put the glue on the back of the piece because of how it fits onto the die cut, the other die cut piece. So I'm just going to do that like this. And put that down. And just kind of wiggle this around till I get it in the right spot on the die. I'm trying to pick this up. Let me see. Yeah. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing with this piece. Add glue to the back and put it on. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. I just love little dies like this that are easy. If they're too complex, it presents a challenge for me, but this one is just right. not too much. But look at that. Look at how cute that is. Isn't that adorable? So that is my little planter. And so now I can bring in my other pieces, and I'm going to build right on the front of my cardstock, my card base. I'm not adding a layer. So we're just going to build. Why did I die cut this piece? I don't even need this piece. I was thinking about the card that I did earlier in the week. I'll show that to you in a little bit here. But I don't need that piece at all. So I'm going to put these circles together first. And then let's see, there's a little notch here that I use to figure out which way is the right way. But there is no real right way, to be honest. But they kind of seem to flow that way to my little way of thinking and looking at things. And then I've just got 3 different shades of green cardstock. The base color is, I picked that one because it really reminded me of the Bexley stone. It's like a gray green kind of. And then these other 2 just matched, I thought, very nicely with it. So that's how I ended up with these colors. And of course, I love my Sambourne lily. So we have that piece. And then I'm going to move this over for just a second. I'm going to put the little arches directly onto the card front. So I'm going to add some glue to the back pieces here. And I'm trying to get some live viewers. I want to start doing some live drawings for giveaways. So if you're watching this and you're able to start watching live, that's what I want to start trying to do. Get a little group going. Okay. Because I've got lots of extras, and I will, I didn't do it for this month, but for the commenters during the month of April, I didn't give a giveaway, but commenters during the month of May, if you've commented on my lives, your name has gone into a drawing, and I will announce the winner in my my first live in June. So that's one piece down, and we got the other piece down. So please leave me your comments. Let me know what you think. If you like it, if you have suggestions on how to make the designs better. I like getting that kind of feedback, because everybody is so creative. And I just love sharing and receiving feedback. I think it's great. Helps me think of things differently sometimes, which is always good. Okay, so then I'm going to add this other piece right at the other end of the card front. And just make sure that they're kind of lined up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just eyeballing it to make sure that the 2 pieces are kind of in the same spot on the card front, just at top and bottom. Okay, so that's those 2 pieces. And then we'll do the front. We'll add our circle. And then we'll do our planter and our flowers. Super simple, but I think it turns out so cute. I just love all the elements in this, these particular dies that Lisa has done for Spellbinders. I think they're really cute. So I'm going to let that sit there for a bit. And I'm going to start playing around with my little planter. And I'm going to start with my greenery. Kind of putting that, I think, I have a pretty good idea where I want things to go already. So I'll start putting these pieces together. And have that one be like that. It actually be a little bit higher. Yeah. And then I'll have, let's see, put this one over here. Coming out like that. So I'll put a little dab of blue back there for this one. And you can put them all and tape them. Lots of ways to do that. And then let's see, these go, I think this one, they go 2 different ways. So I'm going to put this one over here since it's angled out that way. And I'll do the other one on the other side. And just stick it down in there like so. Our little planter, just building our little planter up with the greenery, starting with the greenery. And I think it's backwards from the way you actually do a floral arrangement. I think typically you put your flowers in and then add your greenery. You know what? I think I might put this one on the outside because I wanted to kind of hang like that. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. And then we can go in and add our florals. And I'm going to start with the big one. Just kind of put it kind of right about there. And take this one and put it right beside it. Maybe tuck it underneath a little bit, like that. And then I'll go ahead and put this onto the card front. And I'm just going to glue it. You could add some foam tape if you wanted a little extra dimension for it. But we're going to just put that like so. And I didn't back that out, did I? I sure didn't. I apologize. I'm sitting right in your face. There we go. And then we'll add this one next. And let this one sit on top of these guys. And you could add, if you wanted, like I said, extra dimension, you could add foam tape everywhere. Okay. And then we'll just put these guys, let's see, I think I'll put one over here. And one up here. Yeah. Here. And I think actually, I wonder, let me see if I can pick this guy up. I don't know what I've done to my cardstock. I think we'll be okay. I want him to go right there instead. There. Need these tweezers. Okay. And then I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll take my gum eraser and oh, I don't even need it actually. Okay. And then for the flower centers, I've got somewhere some clear drops from Spellbinders. These are clear dimensional dots, and I'm going to add those to the center of the flowers. And I'll just pick out 3 different sizes because there's 3 different sizes on this sheet. So I'll use a big one. Oops. Runaway dot. Sticking everywhere but on my card. There we go. Get you right in the center and push you down. And then we'll do a mid-size on this one. And we'll do the smaller one on the smallest. There we go. Okay, so those are our flowers. They're cute. I just love those. And then the last thing we need to do is add, I'm going to use some foam tape to add dimension to the back of my sentiment, since it's going to be sitting on the pieces with so many different layers. And I'm just going to take a little bit of foam tape and add it to my sentiment. And make sure it's not sticking out. That little piece is sticking out just a wee bit. Trim that back just a little. And then, yeah, I think I'll do a little bit. Yeah, I think we're good. I might do a little bit under on the part that's hanging down on the G. There. And I think that's that'll be good. All right, so I am going to add glue to the part that's going to be laying flat on the card. Then I'll remove that release tape, put my top back on my glue. There we go. And get that release tape pulled up. And I think we're ready to call this one done. Super easy. Again, this is the Summertime collection by Lisa Horton Crafts for Spellbinders. Some of the collection. If you go back to the beginning of the video, you can see all of the components in this collection. Great little one to have in your stash. And we're going to head and put our sentiment down. I want to make sure, I don't want it on the bucket, but just right about there. My planter, not a bucket. I've been calling it everything but what it is. I want that to be a bucket. I don't know why. Now, let me get this, make sure my sentiment goes straight. That looks pretty straight. It is. So we're going to commit. It's done. So there you go. That is our project for today. Our fun little hugs card with the Lisa Horton Spellbinders Summertime collection. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you like the card. Please leave me a comment, give me your feedback, and I will see you next time. Hope that you have a fantastic week and that you get some time to craft a little kindness of your own and get that out there into the world. And we will see you next time. Bye for now.